defensively, and then Jimmy kind of leading the way on the other end. What did you like about kind of just how that turned the game there?
Yeah, just way more committed. And that's a tough team. They really are. They know how to grind and get you in the mud, keep it a possession game. They're physical. They really defend, as we mentioned before the game. But we created a lot of our energy, off of, Jimmy's steals were terrific, but a lot more ball pressure, a lot more physicality, a disposition. Even though there were some fouls, it was at least more to our nature. And we were able to get some easy baskets from that. And, I think in that first and third quarter, those some of our better defensive efforts collectively, against a good team.
Along those lines, Garland he was orchestrating in that second quarter
Yeah.
What did you change to kind of take him out of the offense in the third?
He still was able to get to the free throw line. He's so much improved, to where he was, last year, and even from when we played him, at the beginning of the year. He's just one of those guys now that you have to have multiple schemes for. And so we cycled through, a few of the schemes, and the schemes weren't looking that great, and that's what great players will force you to do. And we just got a little bit more aggressive in the second half. But more than anything, it doesn't matter necessarily the scheme. Even if you get the ball out of his hands, you have to make multiple efforts. You're going to be in a scramble at that point, and you have to have guys that will continue to make efforts, even if they're making shots. And we saw that in the second half.
Eric, I know you talk with Bam. It's not about the stat line necessarily, but tonight the stat line, 30, 17.
Yeah, so great.
Three
It was,
steals.
yeah, it was one of those stat lines when the staff mentioned it to me. It surprised me. I thought he played a great all around winning basketball game, and he impacted the win as much as anybody. On both ends of the court. And then, when you're able to see that kind of stat line and be rewarded, with a win, and all the little things that he was doing, you feel good about that. But he was powerful. They're a long team. Even without Allen, they have a lot of size. We did have to adjust to that, offensively, just how they can challenge at the rim without fouling. They do that. They're the best team in the league at that. But Bam was just doing that with incredible force. He was, rolling to the rim, making himself available on dishes, but then finishing with power dunks, over again, versus a team that's so long. It was just great. And the offensive rebounds, the rebounding in general, all the different coverages we were doing, he was basically, quarterbacking all of that.
You've seen him for 3 games now, Victor. What are you seeing or learning or liking about how he fits with your?
I already know. This is just a matter of, I'm not going to try to fast track this. This is going to be about us tempering the expectations. It's just about getting him game minutes, getting in rhythm, like helping us, win. And then we'll be able to build it, from there. But this is just 3 games. That is the biggest win of all. The fact that he had 3 straight years of frustrating, health and injury, things that he was dealing with, and this is the biggest victory of all. The fact that he's out here, able to compete, and even though it's just this, and we all want more, I'm sure he wants more. He's been great about it. Staff would want more, everybody else, but this is about discipline. We have to all be disciplined about this and just keep on getting more comfortable and just making these wins with those 15 to 18 minutes.
Eric, I know you never take anything for granted, but with Tyler and what he's doing off the bench, it's such a consistent boost and jolt every game. Has this just become expected from him?
Yeah. I mean, it's gotten to the point where we're dependent on it. His playmaking, his scoring, the skill level, all of that is so important, for us. And I'm the coach, so I see improvement in a lot of other areas where maybe the average fan might not notice, but he really is making improvements defensively as well. On the ball, he's already done that. Those are very old scouting reports, his individual defense. But more importantly, off the ball, he's shown much more awareness and activity on the weak side.
And then I know there's the stay ready to be ready. It could be anyone at any time, but still what a guy like Max Strus does when you say Caleb's not available,
Yeah.
15, I think, total minutes the last 2 games, and then he's ready.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because you never want to take that for granted. That's tough, and in many ways, our depth. We've said it from the very first day, in the media session that's the strength, one of our biggest strengths, and we want to utilize that. That doesn't necessarily mean, even though it's a strength, that it's easy. But in many ways, our rotation is like a baseball rotation. Everybody might not be an everyday player, but they're very impactful when they do play. And we have great situational players, not good, but great situational players. And Max is one of those guys where, he didn't play, but he keeps himself ready. I've seen him behind the scenes, in those days where he doesn't play, the next day it's the same routine. And I always think about what UD always says: you have to stay ready, so you don't have to get ready. And that's a prime example of that. And he gave us really good minutes and a inspiring boost off the bench.
Most of Vic's minutes have come with Kyle and Tyler. I know it's a small sample size, but they produce positive minutes. What has stood out to you, how they complement each other and what works?
Well, they're all really good basketball players. I mean, come on, these guys will be able to figure it out. As long as we just quiet the noise and the expectations, and we're disciplined about this, there's a lot of really good things about that. But we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. I love where Vic is, but I'm looking at it much differently than everybody else. Everybody's looking at what's next. How's it going to fit? How's it going to work? Like how fast we're going to fast track this. It's not about that. It's about discipline. This is just the biggest win is him getting back out there and he's healthy. And tomorrow he won't play, but he's going to be able to do his routine. Like that's a major win. And then he'll be available, on Tuesday, which is great.
So Vic is out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.